beast picture. And finally, we'll show you what the 10 horns on the 7th head point to. And we'll do this straight from the pages of the Bible. Point number 1 is the harlot who rides the beast symbolizes a powerful false church. To understand the beast, it is important to identify the woman who rides it. The Bible sometimes uses a chaste woman to symbolize the true church. Ephesians 5:25 and 32 says, "Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church." 2 Corinthians 11 and Revelation 19 also use this symbolism. Revelation 17 also uses a woman to symbolize a church, but it is an immoral woman, thus representing an immoral church. Verses 1 and 15 explain how she sits on many waters, symbolizing her influence over peoples, multitudes, nations, and languages. Verse 2 describes how she commits fornication and becomes drunk with kings and many inhabitants of the earth, symbolizing her sinful behavior and relationships with many peoples and leaders. Verse 4 says she is rich and outwardly adorned in purple and scarlet, precious stones and pearls, but inwardly, meaning her character, she is full of abominations and filthiness. Verse 5 describes how she has explicitly labeled on her forehead, "Mystery, Babylon the Great, mother of harlots and of the abominations of the earth." This important verse explains how the false church has roots in ancient Babylon and its pagan religion, and that it would be a mother church out of which other false churches would be born. Consider how the Eastern Orthodox and Protestant churches came out of the Catholic Church, all of which have maintained many pagan and unbiblical beliefs and practices of its mother church. Verse 6 explains how she is a violent and persecuting church, demonstrated by her persecution and murder of true Christians over the centuries. Verse 18 explains how the false church is described as a great city that reigns over the kings of the earth. These descriptions, along with other scriptures, show that the harlot symbolizes a great false church located in a great city. Specifically, the harlot represents the church at Rome. It is also symbolized by the beast in Revelation 13:11 through 17. Rome, the eternal city which sits on 7 hills, is the site of the Vatican and referred to in the Bible as modern-day Babylon. Now that we've identified the harlot that rides the beast, let's turn to the key aspects of the beast itself. By the way, if you'd like us to make a video about the harlot of Revelation, let us know in the comments. Point number 2 is the beast of Revelation represents the Roman Empire, led by the church at Rome. Why does the Bible single out this empire out of so many throughout history? It is one of the largest and most influential empires in human history. The Roman Empire significantly impacted major parts of Western civilization in areas such as the alphabet, calendar, law, government, architecture, language, philosophy, and religion. It was from the Roman Empire that the largest and most powerful church in the world emerged, teaching a counterfeit version of the Christianity Jesus originally established. This church in Rome has now grown to over 1 billion members, and out of it have come a host of denominations, making up another billion or so sincere adherents to some version of this counterfeit Christianity established at Rome, none of which followed the Christianity of the Bible. This church greatly influenced the Roman Empire, perfectly fitting John's vision of a harlot riding the beast. The Roman Empire split into the well-defined East and West, represented by the image with 2 legs of iron in Nebuchadnezzar's famous dream in Daniel 2. You can see our video that explains Nebuchadnezzar's dream here. The Roman Empire fascinatingly fits into other biblical prophecies such as the beast with the iron teeth in Daniel 7, the beast from the sea in Revelation 13, and the king of the north in Daniel 11. Clearly, based on the beast in Revelation 17 and these other prominent prophecies, the Roman Empire is the preeminent empire in history on which the Bible focuses. Point number 3 is the 7 heads of the beast of Revelation 17 represent 7 revivals of the original Roman Empire. The original Roman Empire existed from about 31 BC to 476 AD. Rome's death in 476 AD and subsequent resurrections were prophesied by the Revelation 13 beast's mortal wound being healed in Revelation 13 verse 3. It says, "I saw one of his heads as if it had been mortally wounded, and his deadly wound was healed." The 7 heads of the beast of Revelation 17 carry the story forward. Verses 9 and 10 say, "The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sits. There are also 7 kings. 5 have fallen, 1 is, and the other has not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue a short time." These 7 heads represent 7 major revivals of that empire, which we can see line up with history. As we list these revivals, notice the remarkable association with the popes of the Church at Rome, some of whom crowned the emperor of the empire. This relationship is symbolized by the harlot riding or controlling the beast. The first head was fulfilled by the imperial restoration of the western part of the empire under Justinian in 554 AD. It was at this time that he issued a decree which gave more power to the pope's role in the empire. He appointed Pope Vigilius, Pope Pelagius I, and Pope John III in the 500s AD. The second head was the Carolingian Empire. Pope Leo crowned Charlemagne as emperor in 800 AD. The third head represents the Holy Roman Empire under Otto the Great, crowned in 962 AD by Pope John XII. The fourth head representing the Habsburg dynasty, with Charles V crowned in 1530 by Pope Clement VII. The fifth head represents Napoleon's empire, who was crowned emperor in 1804 in the presence and with the blessing of Pope Pius VII. The sixth head was Italy and Germany, ending in the Hitler-Mussolini axis. In 1929, Italy and the Vatican agreed to the Lateran Treaty, signed by Benito Mussolini for Italy and Pietro Gasparri for the papacy. This treaty made Mussolini's government the first Italian government in modern history to be officially recognized by the Pope. 4 years later, in 1933, the Vatican signed a treaty with Nazi Germany that guaranteed the Catholic Church's right to operate in Germany. The seventh head is where the prophecy becomes extremely relevant and sobering for us today, because the previous 6 heads have come and gone, but the 7th head hasn't come yet. The beast's 7th head prophesies the final revival of the Roman Empire in the final years before Christ's second coming. Now this head has 10 horns. Now point number 4 is the beast's 10 horns represent 10 end-time leaders or nations that form the core of the Roman Empire's final revival. Revelation 17, 12 through 14 says, "The 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have received no kingdom as yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. These are of one mind, and they give their power and authority to the beast. These will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings." These 10 horns correspond to the 10 toes in the statue of Nebuchadnezzar's dream in Daniel 2, verses 33 and 42. These horns represent 10 nations or leaders who contribute their authority to the overall empire and its primary leader. These 10 rulers will turn against the harlot, the Church at Rome, at the very end. The 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot and burn her with fire. Verses 20 and 21 explain that Jesus Christ will quickly destroy mankind's rebellious army. With a quick and mighty blow from the King of Kings, the beast will be dead. The Roman Empire, its relationship with the Church at Rome, and all that they represent of Satan's kingdom, called Babylon the Great in Revelation 18, will be no more. Satan's kingdom will be replaced by the kingdom of God. The beast of Revelation 17 is one of the most relevant prophecies in the Bible. In light of this prophecy, Christians should be watching for a political superpower with ties to the Catholic Church to arise in Europe. If you'd like to study this topic in more detail, please